Well, welcome everyone to Ladder Daily Digest. And joining us today is the Backyard Professor, and we're streaming to his audience as well. So say hi to everybody, Backyard Professor.
Hi, Backyard
Welcome,
Professor.
Terry.
Hey,
Welcome.
good to see all you guys.
Welcome.
Yeah, so welcome your audience to the show too, Carrie.
Yeah, welcome you guys. Let me double check and see if I've got this showing. I don't see it showing. Not a
I
big.
see it.
You see it? Well, I
I
don't.
see it.
I don't see it on mine. That's weird. Let me close this out, and I will. Oh, hey, Dean.
Yeah, so it's on. I see it. Dean and Marple are there, and we'll see what we're going to do.
Oh, here we go. Yep, it's go. But I'm going to shut this off. Yeah, this is it. All right, hold on.
Yeah, so we're cobbling something together.
Let me shut mine off. No, yeah, I've got mine off now. Okay. Whew, boy. Now, is yours automatically recording? I guess mine's automatically recording too, huh? Hey, Marple, 3D Destroyer. 3D the Destroyer. Whoa. Stay on his good side.
Whoa.
Anyhow, so I thought we would invite the Backyard Professor to the show, and we would do sort of a combo Ladder Daily Digest where we want to ask you, Carrie, about your experience and what made you start to do the dive into the UFO, UAP arena, and also what experiences you have. I mean, I guess you're meeting lots of interesting people, and what's that experience like so far?
Yeah, I'm the people in the UFO community are really, really fun, interesting. I mean, I thought I met skeptics in the Mormon field. Holy cow. I've met skeptics in the UFO field too, but I've also met good believers. The really cool thing is the experiencers and some of their what they've described to me, what happens to them. It's amazing. Now, as far as a direct experiencer, I'm not one yet. I'm more in the research at this point. I have bought some equipment. I just haven't got out like I thought I would, but I will. But I think I've been exposed to UFOs my whole life because my oldest brother, Larry, when I was a kid, and I mean, this started when I was like 10. He was in Dugway, Utah, and he would come up pretty much every weekend. He was newly married. And, when the kids started coming along, he wanted us to get to know our nieces and nephews, and I had a blast with those. But he was really into astronomy. He was a post office worker, and he worked the midnight to 8 in the morning shift, whatever, the graveyard shift. So on his breaks and all, he would go out and look at the sky. And it was really interesting to him to study astronomy, and that got him into ufology. And he told me all about, he found the information, I guess back then it wasn't as classified. He told us once, he said the astronauts, the Apollo astronauts were escorted to the moon every flight they took. And their first time, after they got their launch done and they were out there zooming toward the moon, they contacted headquarters and they go, hey, do you have anything on your radar? We've got some ships next to us and they're flying with us. And the ground control got back with them and they said, hey, no, hold it. Don't say that over this mic. Don't mention that. Call it Santa Claus.
Oh.
And they were the UFOs, and they were escorted every single flight. And so Larry would come and tell us all this stuff. He said, yeah, UFOs are real. The astronauts knew about them. They helped us get to the moon. Now, way later on, doggone it, I can't remember if it was Buzz Aldrin or Edgar Mitchell. Can't remember which one of them. They said that I had a good train of thought and I lost it. They had seen the UFOs land on the moon with them, and they knew the UFOs were real, but then everything just stopped. No more Apollo missions. And that always surprised me. I shouldn't say spooked, it surprised me. I was I go, wow. Yeah, all that money invested into going to the moon, but they knew about the UFOs, and Larry would keep telling us more and more about them. And my dad finally got fed up with it. Larry would come back with the most crazy stories. Now, I got news for you. I've got crazier stories than Larry does now. I really do. The stuff that we read about in the books now and see on YouTube and hear from the experiencers, this is science fiction woo-woo on steroids. And yet it's turning out that there are patterns and that people from around the world, now that investigators are looking, Artie Six Killer Clark goes down there to Mesoamerica and Guatemala and Mexico and interviews the people down there about the UFOs that visit them nonstop, constantly. There's thousands of UFOs down there, and she's got several books out, and I've been reading them, and they are just fascinating. And then you get the J. Allen Hynek, and you've got Philip Corso, and this idea that they're visiting us, that they're abducting us, and the cattle mutilations, interestingly.
That's right. I won't speak to the cattle mutilations, but Randy, we want to go. Yeah, we want to go on air right now and say to the UFOs that are watching, Randy wants to be abducted.
Randy, see, watch right here live, Latter Daily Digest.
Yeah, whoever's listening out there,
show us your real.
I'm willing to get probed.
That's right.
As long as they have lubrication of some sort, I'm okay with it.
And maybe buy you dinner right beforehand.
Dinner afterwards,
right? Yeah,
well, that'd be a hell.
Yeah, whisper into my ear.
And so, for Backyard Professor's channel, like to introduce ourselves. I'm Gene Judson. I have a channel called Latter Daily Digest. Tim Rathbone we have him on the show. We called Tuesdays with Tim. Tim worked at Brigham Young University in the library archives, and in the 80s, and he photocopied a lot of stuff. He almost joined the Lafferty Brothers group.
What?
He almost helped out Mark Hoffman when all these crimes going on. And I'm just teasing Tim about that. But we have Tim on because Tim was born around the same time Christ was born. So that he has all that experience going. And so we invite ourselves into his living room on Tuesdays.
Tim has more connections than anybody else I know, man.
Yeah,
and perhaps Robert Sheep of Custodian File.
Yeah, and Randy joined me about 8 months ago. Randy is the author of this book. Let's see if I can get it without filling empty, where it's instead of filling empty, I'm feeling empty. It's filling empty. And I interviewed Randy because Latter Daily Digest honors creators. Backyard Professor was on my show about a year ago. We did a show calling what's out there about the Mother God situation. And we had a great time. I got to know Carrie from that. And so we wanted to know why Carrie got back into talking UAP UFOs on his channel. He was a defender of the LDS faith for how many years? 15 years?
About that, yeah.
Until he figured out that he was defending, go ahead and say what you figured out.
The indefensible.
Defending the indefensible. And you kind of like went into your own world You kind of stopped
I'm
doing
still
that. But you had followers, and you started doing chess shows,
Yeah.
right? And then somebody convinced you to come back and talk about your defending the Mormon Church experience, and talk about, from your perspective as a backyard professor, where the fallacies where the things that were actually there that was wrong, and you developed more of a following for that. And then about 10 months ago or 9 months ago, you decided to go sort of into the UAP UFO. What was the
impetus?
Impetus for that?
Here for the last couple of years, I would come home at night after work, right? And my wife would say, hey, I've got an interesting video to show you, at least a video clip of this. And so she'd show me the video, and it was about UFOs, something with Danny Sheehan or whoever. And I go, oh, yeah, that was interesting. And then I went right back to, that was when I was on Bill Reel and Radio Free Mormons, Mormon discussions. I was under Bill Reel's umbrella, and I was reorienting myself with, not only Mormonism, but trying to figure out what I was going to do now that I no longer had a faith to follow, as it were. And so periodically my wife would tell me about something or other, and that went on for about 2 years. And then one night I came home, and my wife said, sit down and watch this. And it was a Danny Sheehan. If I remember right, it was Danny Sheehan. Now, Danny Sheehan is, it's close to impossible to describe this man. His head is so full of knowledge that it's illegal. He has done everything. He's an actual public lawyer for the public in the United States, and he's defended many very famous cases. He was involved in the Watergate stuff and all kinds of stuff. He defended John Mack against Harvard when they put him through an inquisition for writing his book, etc. Well, in this particular podcast, Sheehan said something about aliens are among us, and that the purpose of the abductions was to gather our DNA, to get our DNA. I mean, they were, now I say they, I'm putting all aliens under an umbrella, and this isn't fair because we do understand now that there's probably 5 or 6 different types, different species, as it were. Some people go really elaborate and say, oh yeah, there's 76, there's 199, there's 200, 300,000, etc. And there could be, that's not, but we don't know that many. But based on the various experiences from people all over the world, we've been able to distinguish about 5 or 6. And he said that there are hybrids walking among us. There's aliens among us. And that caught my attention. I thought, wait, how would this affect Mormons if I was to start talking UFOs and Mormonism? How would it affect their belief in Mormonism? And so I started my podcast with the idea that there's a particular angle within Mormonism that you never hear, ever. And I don't mean that Joseph Smith translated the wrong papyri with the Book of Abraham. I mean the UFO hybrid alien connection with us. And how would that affect our understanding of God being the father of all the children and so on and so forth? And now, and he created us special, and he created each of the species of the animals and plants separate and special, etc. And now, all of a sudden, we're recognizing that the aliens are creating new species. What is going on? So I began with the intent of discussing Mormonism and UFOs, and I did that for a couple of videos. But then I came home one night at noon while I was at work. I listened to a UFO podcast, my first UFO podcast, and I came home and asked my wife, I said, "Hey, I got a question." And she goes, "Sure." And I said, "Have you ever heard of Gary Nolan in all your research on YouTube?" And she goes, "Have I heard of Gary Nolan? I've been trying for 2 years to get you to look at him. Do I know him? I've watched like 10 videos of him. Of course I know Gary Nolan." And I came here thinking I was going to really blow her mind by saying, Gary Nolan has metal from the UFO craft, and he's testing it, man. What do you think of that? And she said, "I told you that 1.5 years ago." And I go, "Well, at least we both think he's legitimate now." And so the saga began. I got jumping into UFOs, and I can't stop. And I've only scratched the surface. And there is an enormous amount of really interesting, really kooky, really terrifying, really hopeful ideas involved with all of this UFO aliens stuff. And I'm just now getting into the idea of how remote viewing works with all of this. It's fascinating. So that's
I tell people the thing that I like the most about Carrie is enthusiasm. Now, you have like a childlike energy of talking about things.
Childlike intellect too, but I try to hide.
Yeah, they go hand in hand sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Some people think it's even like naivete, right? But you're also saying, you're not buying into everything. You're just saying if a lot of times.
Well,
and let's apply scientific knowledge to these things, right?
Yeah. Well, and I confessed to my audience, and I still do periodically too, because it's very important to understand. I was raised on what I call classical science, 1960s, 70s, and 80s. So you know who I'm going to name: Isaac Asimov, Stephen Jay Gould, Carl Sagan, Arthur C. Clarke, etc. Not only the great scientific thinkers or popularizers, but also the great science fiction writers, all of them, right? So I was raised on that material. And to get into this subject, just blows your brains out. Absolutely flabbergasts me, because everyone knows that telepathy is woo-woo. It's not real science. Everyone knows remote viewers fake it. It's not real science. Everyone knows that anti-gravity propulsion machines is the stuff of science fiction. Everyone knows that the whole theme of invaders from outer space, Mars Attacks, H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds, and all that, all of the movies, everyone knows that it's a story. And then people coming along and saying they're abducted and that they can unify their consciousness with these beings. And they're shown the entire universe. Pure, unadulterated poppycock. And yet, it's happening over and over and over again worldwide through
Carrie,
through all types of people: scientists, normal Joes, farmers, skeptics, believers. Everyone's getting their experiences, and they're all basically, the patterns are showing that they're not just making this stuff up. Something's going on.
But what's harder for me to believe than believing in UFOs is that there are still people that don't believe in them, because it's become so prolific with our cell phones now, everyone has a video camera they're carrying around.
Yeah.
The number of things that are caught on video is astronomical and unexplainable. How does anyone not believe in UFOs these days?
Yeah.
Or not believe in UAPs or other life? With all of the evidence that's mounted up, it just blows my mind that there's still non-believers. And
And I say
my only
there's
hope
not
is that
enough evidence to say this is a real photo of a bird, a reptilian, or we don't have any of that stuff that you can say for sure is real.
Right.
But there's enough people experiencing things. And I was saying to my brother once, there's more, in a way, evidence of UAP and UFO and aliens than God, right? Because, and so it seems like a more real experience to a lot of people than a miracle.
You want to hear the really weird thing, for real, without exaggeration. There's only, in what I term the UFO community, and I think we do have a community, if nothing else, of experiencers. There's probably sub-communities within the UFO community. All right, I grant that. That's all good. In the UFO community, there are only, at best, and I mean at very best, 3 million. It is such a minority take on things that we wouldn't even register as a blip on a radar screen.
Almost like Mormonism.
And yet our Congress is investigating UFOs and aliens, biologics, as David Grush testified. Our Congress is holding hearings on UFOs. They are getting ready to pass a new bill, to repass the bill, the UAPD bill, I believe it is, that they tried in 2023, and it was rewritten and all the power taken out of it. Now we've got that bill coming back into Congress, etc. But now the scientists are beginning to explore this. The day of shaming, because make no mistake about it, you are a nut job if you believe in UFOs. And yet now more and more people are beginning to, not mockery, but serious, sophisticated studies, historical, scientific, etc., on this subject itself. And I think we're past a threshold of worrying about being shamed, although it will still cost you your job and your career. So if you have a good job or career, wait until you retire. Make sure your pension's secure. It's amazing how this whole subject has been completely mistreated through the last 80 or 90 years. Here's the difference. They no longer just appear to one person over there and another person over there and maybe a person over there. There are thousands, if not tens of thousands, of experiencers coming forward saying, hey, I just was taken up into a spaceship 2 days ago, from all over the world. It's not just an isolated incident of somebody whose brain went to spaghetti and ended up concocting a story that's science fiction. Now there's tens of thousands of people, and the patterns are beginning to be recognized. What do you do with all of this? And the real beauty is now our Air Force and our Navy and our Army, etc., they too are beginning to have some really wild, weird experiences. And if there was nothing there, then how come the government is striving so hard, spending trillions of dollars, keeping it secret? That makes
Do you think that a lot of it is because these deniers are just afraid? Like it's fear-based?
Look, I'm afraid. I'm afraid at times. I'll read a book or I'll read an article or I'll hear a YouTube experiencer tell their story. I mean, have you ever heard Whitley Strieber talk? Have you ever heard his? I went down to Contact in the Desert about a month or so ago, and I listened to Whitley Strieber. The man's written 40 books. I had no idea he was that busy. Of course, his famous one is Communion, where the alien head is on the cover. But holy cow, what an absolutely terrifying experience. And yet, probably because it's the unknown, but over the concourse of time, through time, they're actually potentially here because we are at a point in our status as a species that is very critical. Now here's another one. Here's another science fiction one. The alien,
Carrie, just real quick, was that estimate of 3 million just the United States, or is that internationally?
No, worldwide. Okay. If I understand, yeah, right. If I understand that right. I mean, even if it is just the United States, what's the rest of the world going to bump it up to? 6 million? Oh, all right, 6 million out of 8 billion. So anyway, one of the new current ideas, and it's gaining traction, it's gaining ground. It actually makes sense to me now better than it used to, is the aliens are us from the future come back.
Okay, I'm absorbing that one.
They're time travelers and all, and you go, yeah, see, there's no proof of that. It's all just pure BS. It's just a story, etc. But it's a remarkably succinct idea that makes a lot of weird points come together in a very cool way. So that's a possibility.
By the way, Sherry, you're right. Birds are not real. That makes about as much sense as saying aliens aren't real, because it's on my bucket list. I feel like we're close, but I so want contact made for the public, not with governments, but contact made for the public that we can see before I die.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. I apologize for interrupting you. Here's the thing. I have a lot of people in my comment section and in my audience who say the same thing. Here's the deal. That's happening. But now the responsibility has shifted. You don't get to passively wait, because it's like a radio frequency, this telepathy that the aliens are communicating with. They are communicating with hundreds of thousands of normal people all around the world, but we have to tune in. That's why the idea of psionics, telepathy, meditation, etc., has really picked up in importance, because if you really want the disclosure in a legitimate way, we have to do so. You have to do it. They aren't going to just come and show themselves to the whole world. They're picking individuals. And do you know why that is?
Well, because they have to be open in order to receive it.
Too. But the one theory is they have been bringing DNA from other civilizations, from other galaxies, and intermixing it with us as well for hundreds of thousands of years. They are the ones, so the theory goes, that created Homo sapiens through genetic manipulation 200,000 years ago. So they're contacting their kin, and they'll bring in, technically speaking, we're probably all their kin, and those who will get on the right radio wave, so to speak, to use an analogy. It's like tuning a radio. You want to go to 107.9 and listen to rock music, you ain't gonna hear it if you go to 102.4. Nope, that's the wrong frequency. You won't get any contact. You have to tune yourself. You have to prepare yourself and get that dial over to 107.9. Bam, there you go. That's the analogy I've been using. So it is happening. I'm just letting you know. It is happening. So if you really want it, start studying meditation. Start studying potentially remote viewing and how to do telepathy. The CE5 protocol of Steve Greer. Someone said, I'm trying to think of who it was. Oh, it was Jake Barber. Yeah, I don't know what I think about Jake Barber anymore. There is a protocol for getting them to communicate to you. Now, it's really weird because I've got a friend who's a neighbor, Nate, and I've done a couple of videos with him. And he's just been studying it all this time for like 20 years or so. And all of a sudden, orbs are showing up almost in my backyard. And I have never heard ever of any orbs in my state at all recently by anybody. And then all of a sudden, this guy who is a fan of mine starts contacting me and saying, you know what? I think we need to get together. I said, yeah. I don't know how far away you are. It turns out he's just 5 miles up the road. I had no idea. My. But he sees orbs out of his front door. And I'm going, how come I'm not?
That.
Yeah. So,
well, you know, I believe in remote viewing because somebody from Ireland is viewing us right now.
Oh yeah. There's people from all over. Oh, hey, Cynical Banana. I like that. Richie Ruggs, yeah. Yeah, and Dean Pollard. Hi, Dean. How are you? And Sherry Barney. How you doing?
You know, the propensity to see ghosts or spirit activity, you notice the people that are open to that and who have had experience continue to have experience with it. My son and myself, my son Garrett Watts and myself both have this same experience that if anything supernatural or super spiritual is going to happen, it's going to happen to us. And I think that's how it is with the sightings and the experiences. If people are just willing to look and willing to accept what they see, they're going to see a hell of a lot up there. And like I said, I'm blown away that there can be so much evidence and people are like, no, it's not real. It's not real. Whatever. There's too much flying around up there that, and there are people that say, well, it's all the government. It's government stuff. No, because human beings cannot possibly endure the instant stopping and the shooting up and the torque and
those could be drones. That's just recently hit the waves on YouTube in the UFO community. That even Ross Coulthart just came out and said they're human made. So there's not people in those Tic Tacs that are doing that kind of speed. They are kind of a drone technology. But we're still arguing about it back and forth. It's wild and weird. Just realize one thing for better context, for a broader context. I'm with you. However, with this caveat, we're not satisfied in polluting and making our own world and home and backyard stink with our pollutants. Now we're putting all the stupid shit up there in space. There are hundreds of millions of pieces of space junk up there that either get hit by asteroids and destroyed and flying around and floating around, anywhere from screws to great big solar panels to whatever, to actual working satellites, etc. And we've had to offset the orbit heights of so many satellites. We have hundreds of thousands of satellites up there. It is ludicrous beyond ridiculous how flippin' dirty we are as a species, man. But the estimate, just so we understand, even in Project Blue Book, the estimate with all of those sightings that they talked about, J. Allen Hynek in his book talks about, he was one of the Blue Book guys, Project Blue Book. 10%, 9 to 10% of all of the sightings are anomalous. And before you say, well, that's it, I mean, that's not very much. Well, consider how many things are seen. That still means thousands. So I'm with you. I get it. I agree, actually. There is something here. There's something to this phenomenon. It's changing too many people's lives. At the same time, most everything that you do see is probably human made, just so we understand. Yeah. Because there's so many videos out there on YouTube that is putting up stuff that you go, no. And of course, the running joke is, oh, it's swamp gas. No matter what shape, or it's a balloon or whatever, but yeah.
Right. Well, when I was 12, I had an experience that literally changed my life, and no one will ever be able to convince me that these UAPs aren't real and extraterrestrial. We were sitting out at a big campfire, a big group of friends and I. This was back when I was like 12. And all the adults and neighbors, it was in Durango, Colorado. And all of a sudden, this green thing, cigar shape, saucer shaped from an angle, I don't know, came flying over the mountain range and cleared that mountain range. To clear it in about 3 seconds is just unheard of. And it came to an instant stop, hovered there for about 4 seconds, and then went straight up so fast that it left a light trail going up. And we all witnessed it. And there was no noise. And this was way before we had any capabilities like this. No one will ever be able to tell me that UFOs aren't real now because, hey, been there, done that, got the t-shirt. Well, Tim's got the t-shirt, actually. He's wearing it right now.
There you go. The Star Trek USS Enterprise. There you go. Yeah, no, that's awesome. The anomalous behavior of some of this stuff is very real. Nate shared a video of an orb that him and his wife saw, and it was only like 8 seconds or so before it disappeared because it took off and it disappeared pretty flippin' quick, man. So, yeah. What do they want? Who knows?
Tim, do you have any? Tim, do you have any stories?
Hey, we've got a Trekkie here.
I just saw a UFO right there.
You saw a UFO right there. You got to throw it, Tim. Hopefully it won't break.
No. I won't throw it.
Tim, what's your UFO experience?
It started a long time ago.
And what planet are you from? That's what I want to know.
Gleka 6.
He's from Uranus, Gene.
My interest started when I was about 9 or 10.
Wow.
Well, it was before that when I started to have dreams about them when I was a kid and I didn't know what was going on and it was scaring me. And then there was a magazine that came out back in the late 60s that I would buy at the drugstore when drugstores had magazines and talking about UFOs. And then my dad and I were flying one time and we saw an orb fly across our flight path. It appeared and then it disappeared. We both saw it at the same time. We wondered what it was. And so, always wondered since then. And when I worked at Lockheed with a gentleman named Dicker.
Tim, we want details.
You worked
details,
at Lockheed.
Tim.
Tell us about that. Which craft did you backward engineer?
No. But I knew a gentleman there who worked at Lockheed for 20 or 30 years. And we talked about UAPs all the time. And when Bob Lazar's story broke, I thought it was on Coast to Coast, but I was wrong. It was when George Knapp broke the story in 1989. I went into his office Monday morning, and he said, close the door, and I shut the door, and he told me it's all real, it's all true, I can tell you that. And I said, okay, that's all I wanted to know. And
Well,
I've
what did you
seen
see
things.
when you were with your dad, Tim? Because I
It
want
was
to hear
just
that.
an orb. It was a silver orb that it all of a sudden was there. It wasn't there, and it was there, and it flew across our flight path, and then it disappeared.
Wow.
Wow.
That was in the 70s, I think.
Now, see, hey, what Gene and I what just happened is we both said, wow. The wow factor is one of the new theories coming out of why they are showing up. They want us to notice them finally. And that's why so much stuff is happening to get us to say, wow. Carmen, what's his name? I can't remember which ufologist it was that he wrote a chapter in what's his nose's book. I've got it back here somewhere. Anyway,
Once we started broadcasting TV shows, that has started to attract aliens.
Well, it was the nuclear bombs.
Yeah.
According to some stories, there were UFOs that observed the first explosion in July of 45 at Alamogordo when they flew the first one off. Stories about them being there. And, when you listen to Richard Dolan and he's finding all these stories of aliens going back thousands of years,
Yeah.
there has to be something to it.
It's evident by the number of comments coming through, people talking about their experiences of seeing wow factors.
Yeah, right.
It's evident that so many people have experienced something like this.
Yeah.
It just can't be a coincidence or people's imagination.
No, and
except Jane.
Well,
Jane does a lot of drugs.
I've known. I had a couple of friends. One was my, I called him Uncle Bobby. He's married to my aunt, and he was testing the flying wing in the F-89 at Edwards back in the 40s, and they saw things out at Edwards Air Force Base that was observing their flight testing, and they weren't ours. They weren't American airplanes. They were some kind of craft observing the test flying out there. I've heard from two different people who were involved in tests at Edwards who've told me that, and this is in the 40s and the 50s, that when we were testing our equipment, that there were craft that were observing the testing going on. So they're watching us. They've been watching us for thousands of years to see where we're going to go. I mean, and you hear the stories about them over nuclear sites that they can play with the physics in a nuclear reactor or with a nuclear missile, like in one that was over Russia and that started the countdown going and then stopped it. So,
yeah, now those guys are not going to make that story up. Not those guys.
No, they wouldn't make it up.
There's nothing there to invent or make up or try to get attention. That scared the shit out of everybody. And it happened in Montana as well. Not just USSR, but here.
It happened to us.
Well,
yeah.
I'm going to get that book soon. There's a book on that, UFOs and nuclear weapons. So.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. But so there's a lot of things that go on, that we don't understand. Like yesterday, I was listening to Professor Simon. What's his name? Anyway, Professor Simon.
Yep.
And he was talking about the UAPs.
Was that on the Night Shift Live program?
No, it was on his.
His channel. He was on the Night Shift Live. I got in on that during my lunch hour. He's funny.
Oh.
Okay.
But he was talking about the UAPs that Fravor saw and that he heard about. And he says maybe there were two of them. Maybe there was one that they saw, and when they told him there was one at the cap point, there could have been a second one. Because he never observed the one that he saw move. He just saw it go up. He never saw it go laterally. He only saw it go vertically, not horizontally. And then when they got the report that it was already at the cap point, he said maybe there were two. And they were testing. And why was it in the military range? He thinks that he and Stephen Greer think that Lockheed builds UAPs
Right.
and was testing them. And that's a possibility. I mean, when what this gentleman told me about stuff at Lockheed, that there was a lot of things going on that the public doesn't know about. So
Did he elaborate?
not a lot. He wouldn't say very much, but he said enough to let me know that I was on the right track when we would talk about UAPs and discuss that.
So we know there's a mix of human craft and stuff. I mean, we're not going to sit idly by and let some other country surpass us in technology and all. But here's an interesting theme that I think's going on with UAPs also is they don't carry any weapons on them. They couldn't maneuver with weapons, so we can't weaponize them. But they could be used for surveillance very easy.
Yeah.
That's kind of an interesting point. We, of course, being the human beings, short-sighted as we are, always want to find a way to improve our weapons so that we can kill 200,000 people a second instead of only 100,000. I don't know what its obsession is with death and killing, but we always try to improve the weapons. But that may not be the point of the aliens. The aliens don't have need of weapons because their brains are evolved to the point where they can completely control you anyway. There's not a weapon we have that could defeat an alien who can control you.
Yeah, I don't think we have a snowball's chance in hell of fighting the aliens. Obviously, their technology is so far advanced than ours is that it's silly to think that we're going to defend our planet. If they want to kick our terrestrial ass, they can sure do it.
Yeah.
See, and when you listen to all these stories about Von Braun telling his secretary that they were going to create an event that would be created by humans about an alien invasion to bring us all together, maybe that's part of their plan still, that the Defense Department or Department of Energy, whoever is creating these UAPs, have a false flag invasion to scare everybody. But now that we know about it, maybe it's not going to work. But who knows? There's this Project Moonbeam and these giant craft in the air of lights, thousands of lights, all kinds of things. I follow all kinds of people. I listen to all kinds of different podcasts to figure out what's going on because there's no one person that has the answer. I mean, like I listen to.
Sorry.
I listen to what Cliff High has to say, and then I watch the Future Forecasting Group and what those guys have got to say, and then I listen to what's his name, the guy in Georgia. Can't remember his name right now. Listen to them, and listen to and Professor Simon, and then the one you were talking about the other day, Carrie, that guy who was MJ9.
Oh yeah.
I thought Carrie knew everything about everything. That's why we have him on the show.
I don't. You have been deceived.
But you've got to listen to a lot of different people and their points of view, like Linda Moulton Howe and like Richard Dolan and Richard Nolan you were talking about. You have to listen to all these people because everybody has a piece of the puzzle and we're all trying to put it together. And I believe that one day when we have it all together, we'll see the big picture and we'll know, boom, okay, this is what it is. It's like I listened to Danny Sheehan's interview about the guy that killed Kennedy, you know, and I listened to the interview of the guy in prison who said, I shot Kennedy, and he describes how he did it. And then Danny Sheehan says the same thing. Okay, so it was an inside job when they killed President Kennedy. You know, probably the most devastating event of my lifetime. You know.
That's right. Someday we'll get the grand UFOifying theory.
Yeah, someday we'll have a thing. Yeah, it's all going to come together. But we have to keep asking the questions, and we have to keep investigating it and listening to everybody. And don't poo-poo anybody. You know, listen to their story. Even if you think they're nuts, listen to it anyway. And because there's some truth in a grain of truth in just about everything that people are saying. That's why I follow a lot of people and spend a lot of time reading and listening to different YouTube channels and their experiences about all these things that are going. I mean, when you figure out that Kennedy was killed because he was going to reveal UFOs, that Nixon was forced to resign because, according to some people, he was going to reveal the UFOs because of what he said to Jackie Gleason, that he showed Jackie Gleason aliens and UFOs, and that Jackie Gleason built the house like a UFO. And then we find out that Bob Woodward was a CIA agent. And how many CIA agents are in the press, according to Stephen Greer, that the press is unreliable because they salted the press with people who are going to poo-poo these stories. Mm-hmm. And now it's beginning. They've lost control of the narrative, because it's pretty much people are coming out saying what they see and what they know now, and whistleblowers are coming forward and telling their stories. But I was really disappointed in the latest Stephen Greer documentary. I thought, oh, it's going to be a bombshell. I watched the whole thing and I didn't hear one bombshell in there.
No.
The thing I'm disappointed about Greer is he's like a salesman. You know, I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to give it to you. And he never does. He never does. He never brings forth, never delivers. He doesn't deliver. He says, I'm going to deliver, I'm going to deliver, I'm going to deliver. And he never does. And I watched all his documentaries. You know, I was excited to watch the latest one, and I watched it, and I went, you know, this is the same old stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of disappointed in that.
That is one of the criticisms, definitely.
Yeah. But
Carrie, excuse me, Backyard Professor, do you
Call me Carrie.
Can I call you Carrie? Okay.
Sure.
Do you believe that we have possession of alien crafts, or the military, that someone actually has possession of crashed crafts?
I lean toward that. Yeah, I do. There's enough eyewitness accounts and people who were in a former government position or agency or whatever, who waylaid him life, went ahead and told what they knew anyway. Philip Corso did that. J. Allen Hynek. You know, you got Jacques Vallée's research, Richard Dolan, and all that. Yeah, I think there's some smoke there, but they've hidden them well. So, but
yeah.
I think there are. Now, the real interesting thing is they're not. I mean, we don't hear of a lot of people seeing metallic flying saucers anymore. Right now, the big thing is these light orbs. But the plasma state nature of their travel is what they could be showing us. Who knows? I mean, there are people who testify that beings come out of those orbs. If the universe is plasma, as Robert Temple's book, Heaven on Earth, talks about, there could be many different forms. Not all of the different types of ETs are going to have the same level of technological prowess either. So, yeah, there's
I'm glad you brought that up, Carrie, because you remember Art Bell?
Mm-hmm.
I called into Art's show and told him and the audience about this, and no one to date has ever been able to give me an answer. And I'm
About
sorry,
what?
Gene and Tim are going to have to hear this again.
That's fine.
But
The more you tell it,
back,
the better it is.
Ah,
yeah,
I just
back
want
when I was
straight dope.
back when I was I don't know, about 22. I was 22. I walked out to get something off the clothesline. I lived in a trailer. I was dirt poor. I walked out to get something off of the clothesline, and something caught my eye up in the sky. This is like a story you've not heard before, I'm sure. But imagine if the earth is right here, a beam of light, and it was a light colored light. It was, like a flashlight. You can see through the beam, but it was perfectly cylindrical, and it traveled from one eternal point across the sky to another eternal point. At no point was it coming up from the earth. It was a big cylindrical beam from forever to forever that I could see. It may have been 3 miles above me, or it may have been 300 million miles. I don't know. So I don't know how big the beam was. But just as I started calling everyone I knew around, our neighbors in the other trailers, and got my wife and everyone out there to look at this, I could see that the beam, I thought at first, was moving, but it wasn't the beam moving, it was the earth rotating. So it looked like it was moving to the north. Another beam, I could see it coming this way. Three of these passed over our heads. We all saw it. We didn't have, video abilities at the time, but we all saw this, and they were all perfectly cylindrical columns, not vertical, but horizontal columns going from one end of the uh, could be to the universe. Anyway, it looked like it was eternal, going both directions, and at no point could have come from the earth. And I always wondered what this was, why there were only three of them, and was this some form of transportation, some kind of plasma type. I don't know. Have you ever heard of anything like this? Hopefully your audience has heard of something like
Well,
this, because
have you seen the video of a, I think it was a green or red or blue and a red beam coming out of Saturn or Jupiter shooting at things in space? There's a video on YouTube a couple of years ago where actual beams of light were coming, they were shooting at something from, I don't remember if it was Jupiter or Saturn.
no.
I'll have to find that and send it to you guys.
Yeah, please do if you can. Yeah.
Yeah. And also another thing is the crop circles, that we need to start looking at the crop circles.
I know.
And there was a guy who thinks that if we take all the crop circles we have, and they might be telling us how to build a device to communicate with.
I've just
them.
recently come across that idea. It's probably
Yeah.
an idea because I'm late to the party, but yeah, that's quite interesting. Yeah.
And the way that they translated that one, that don't trust, there was a message, don't trust somebody. I can't remember exactly what it was, but there's a guy on Facebook, I can't find him anymore, who was translating the crop circles. And then the other day I heard a video about, pardon?
Sacred geometry and stuff like that.
No, he was translating the crop circles, because there are messages in every crop circle that's sending us a message. And he was translating them. I can't remember.
Hey, do you know if anyone has ever put together a book of absolutely all of the crop circles that have ever been made? Do you know if something like that's available? I wonder if something like that's available online. That would be.
It is. I saw it
question.
last week. I saw it last week. It was a diagram of every single crop circle that's ever been discovered by man, and a whole entire diagram made of it. There's thousands, and I'll find it and send it to you, Carrie.
Please do. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we need
Interesting.
to see that.
Would
I'll
really
send you
like
two,
see that.
Tim.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool. That would make a fun video to explore.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, there's so many things that are going on, and they're all pieces of the puzzle, like I said, and we just got to figure out how it all goes together.
Yeah. Yeah. So why are they encoding material into the crop circles instead of just simply telling people? Maybe because more people will look at crop circles than believe another human whom they would accuse of lying about talking with the ETs.
So you're looking for like a 5,000 word essay put into a crops.
Well,
Read it.
okay.
Like, be clear.
What language are they communicating in? What is mathematics is pretty much the universal language, right? Because not everybody's going to speak English or any of the languages we have on this planet.
Right.
We assume they speak that language. Well, okay, maybe they're speaking in mathematics to us, and we just don't get it.
Yeah, and geometry, sacred geometry, is some of the most spectacular mathematics I've ever studied.
Yes.
It's delightful. Yeah, I'm just curious.
I like tantric geometry.
What?
Ha ha. Ha ha ha.
Oh, we have a smart one here.
Is that the full frontal nudity crop circles? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, there could be an alien Playboy magazine just published on all the crops.
Uh-oh.
I would love to know who created these aliens. Where did they come from? Hell, I know we don't even know where we came from. There's speculation,
Well,
but I'd love to know who created the aliens and who.
Dick Argyle of Future Forecasters claims that he remote viewed this place that was like a bank of DNA, and that these creatures were pulling different DNA about from this huge data bank of DNA and putting them together to create certain kinds of species.
A celestial sperm bank?
Well, DNA bank.
Well,
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, if they are gathering DNA from all over the universe,
Yeah.
see, the one idea is the universe is what, 13 billion? The Earth is 4 billion. So there's been 9 billion years where a civilization could have arisen and advanced for all that time. And they have gathered the DNA, and maybe they are, like they've told some of the abductees, they are the creators. We're their children.
Yeah,
but where
intriguing.
Where did they come from,
though?
Exactly
That's what I'm saying. You know,
The
that doesn't
intriguing
answer my
I wanted
question.
to ask Mormons.
Right.
Who are
Sim
they
only goes
and where
back
did
1
they
billion
come from?
years.
Well, they came from earlier aliens.
And where did they come from?
Turtle,
Yeah, that's the
turtle
thing.
aliens and
Turtles
turtles
all the way down.
Eternity stuff just F's with my brain. It just screws me up.
We would be safe in saying they came from the quantum realm. Everything goes back to quantum eventually. You know?
Exactly. Yes.
Oh, well, that clears it all up for me. I'll just look back to the quantum realm.
Also, if you figure out that there's only now, there is no future, there is no past, there's only now.
Right.
And right now, more things are happening in this moment than happened in the previous moment. Every moment that passes, more and more things are occurring on this planet in the universe that occurred the moment before.
Is that a theory?
Wild No, that's pretty much proven that every moment that passes, one more thing happens there was a video I watched. This guy in the 90s said that more and more things are happening every moment
Oh, I
than the
see.
last
Because
moment.
everything's now, it's all additive. It's cumulative.
Exactly. It's cumulative. It's exponential.
Interesting.
Yeah. Blew me away when I read that, saw that. Makes a lot of sense. Like I said, we got to listen to a lot of different people to bring it all in to figure out what's going on. Like when I listened to Professor Simon yesterday talk about the two UAPs, and I went, oh, that makes sense. It didn't move from here to there. It went up, and the other one appeared. Maybe there were two of them. And why were they in a military zone that only the military could fly in? Because they were testing out new equipment. Yeah. I mean, there's that story that at Norton Air Force Base, they had a big curtain and they took certain people back there to show them the craft that had been reverse engineered. And that was back in the 60s. Well, I mean,
Hey, keep that comment up there, Gene.
Okay.
Tets, they are also living in the moon, as I've recorded them going into it and also put it on YouTube. The men in black are coming for me, laughing out loud. Okay,
well,
forget his last sentence, but that idea of living in the moon, I am studying Ingo Swann right now, along with Bill Uhouse. And Ingo Swann's a big remote viewer, along with Hal Puthoff and now Daz Smith. And this is not a joke.
This goes back to my dreams as a child, where I had dreams of men living in the moon, and they were scaring me. And I was a child when this happened.
Really? Yeah.
Yes. And when I heard that, it made sense. And Cliff High and the remote viewer, well, Dick Argyle talks about them speaking Etruscan. These people who are living in the moon are speaking Etruscan. And the moon is a big spaceship, which blows my mind.
Yeah.
So, and Etruscan is the people just before the Roman Empire. Just so
right.
that you know.
Right.
Well, Joseph Smith said they dressed like Quakers. Could he have seen them in their space outfit or whatever?
Maybe.
Now we've mocked Joseph, or I haven't, but some people have mocked Joseph Smith for saying men live on the moon. Well, now that's not so funny anymore. What the hell did he know? I've got a new theory on that. You want me to spill it out here real quick first?
Sure.
You're the first to hear it. Now, I don't think I'm presenting something unique. I'm sure someone else has thought about this, but I am going to put this out there. I think I have an explanation for a lot of the quote weirdness of Joseph Smith is he was a remote viewer.
Yes.
I mean, it just slapped me in the face this morning. I thought, wait, because someone on one of my videos commented in the comments, they said, yeah, this Ingo Swann, Swann, he's the gent who remote viewed Jupiter before the Pioneer craft got there. And he's the one that first said, yeah, Jupiter has rings. And people were saying, dude, that's Saturn, not Jupiter. And he goes, no, I mean Jupiter also. And there was 12 other characteristics that Swann told about Jupiter that ended up being accurate. And that's when Hal Puthoff noticed him, if I understand the story right. And he said, wait a minute, I got to get with this guy. And then they worked together in the CIA. But, now that Brigham Young, him.
Said people lived on the moon, on the sun.
Live in the sun.
Yeah.
Guess what? That's a direct claim of remote viewing some of these ufologists.
Yeah.
What is going on? I'm just asking.
That's right.
Well, they only come out at nighttime, the ones that live on the sun. So they don't burn themselves.
So they don't burn themselves.
Well, have you seen that photograph that shows how the sun is connected to other suns? There's some kind of an energy sharing, a network.
No.
Yeah, there's a photograph.
Yes, I have too. Are you sure that wasn't a lens aberration?
No, it shows how they're connected, that there's some kind of an energy corridor, that each sun is sharing energy from another sun. I can't remember when I saw it a few years ago that it showed how
I've seen that too. I thought that was chalked up to a camera lens aberration. I don't know. Interesting.
No, because it was a picture of a portion of the universe where they showed all these connections going on. They were sharing energy.
So,
and there's the movie coming out next year called Hail Mary, where the sun is dying because it has a disease and it's infected other stars, and that this one astronaut has to go to this one star that's not infected to find out how come it's immune from this infection.
now that's a good metaphor for what the aliens are doing with us. They are infected and they need our genes to help them through their genetic defect. Isn't that an interesting thing?
Well, okay, and here's the thing. When camels were taken from Egypt and sent to Australia, the camels in the Middle East become so degraded that they had to go to Australia to get those camels to breed with, because their DNA had not been so degraded by inbreeding as the ones in the Middle East.
On earth as in heaven, we are just in a bigger cosmological process of the same thing.
And if this is the people from the future coming back because their DNA has been so degraded, they have to get ours because it's pure.
Yeah,
but then Cliff High talks about the one chromosome that was deliberately burned.
Yes. So does Greg Braden. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a great video of Greg Braden. I believe it was on Joe Rogan, and he talked about it. See, that's what the aliens have told some of their people that they've abducted. They said, yeah, we are the ones that there's a specific gene in the DNA. There's something in the DNA that they switched, and it changed the size of our brain through time. Our brain grew bigger so that we could be able to receive further light and knowledge that Father promised. Oh no, but so that we would be able to advance. The whole theme, perhaps, that they're working on is they're trying to get us able to join the cosmic family, because we're still the stupid little toddlers who keep throwing toys out of the crib instead of doing something useful with them.
Right.
It's all speculation at this point.
We have bullyard bullies running the earth who want to fight and kill each other. They'd much rather be stupid than work together and figure out what's really going on.
Yeah. Well, we're still too short-sighted, so yeah.
If anybody knows how to get Giorgio Tsoukalos on, let us know.
Right? Let's do it.
Go ahead, Randy.
Call him.
I was just going to say, this is all what we're talking about. This is all in our universe. But holy crap, think about how many universes there are, because you can fit a lot of universes into eternity. Here I go on this eternity thing again.
Well, it's like flying to the edge of the universe. You're never going to reach the edge of the universe because it's always further out beyond you.
There's an infinite number of universes in Marvel comic books.
Right.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. These aliens that we're seeing, I guess, would be our local aliens. But what about aliens from 100 bazillion, trillion, gazillion, billion
those scientific
light years away?
The way they travel, there is no distance. There is no distance. There is no time. They're in the now.
There is no spoon. I learned that from Matrix.
There is no spoon.
Such a mind fuck.
They travel by scalar waves, and that's why the scalar weapons knock them down, because we have scalar weapons, and that's what Greer said.
Right.
That they use the scalar weapons to knock them down. But that's why Roswell happened, because we had a scalar weapon outside. there and it shot that one down.
Right.
And that they shoot down 2 or 3 a month, according to Lazar, or not Lazar, according to Greer. But I don't know if I believe everything. I have my doubts
I'm
about
going to say
Greer.
that's pretty foolish to do considering their vast technology. So
Right.
just my input. On the other hand, there is the idea that they put forward that the aliens are letting that happen to give us gifts so that we can advance to get ready to get into the cosmic family. But the one thing they aren't going to let us do is take nuclear weapons into space. That they won't let us do.
We could actually use this show to teach Carrie it's nuclear.
Oh, yeah. You know, I've had people tell me that every time. Nuclear.
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 What did you say, Carrie?
Nuclear.
Nuclear.
Well,
nuclear.
I've been told you need to pronounce it like nuclear.
Nuclear.
I keep saying nuclear.
Right.
We already have platforms with
atoms, all right. Nuclear.
We already have platforms with nuclear weapons in space orbiting above us. They've been there since the 60s.
So where did I hear that they're not going to let us do that?
Well, maybe not beyond our sphere. Maybe just the Earth, because we have, even though they'll deny it, I know people who told me, yeah, we have them above us in satellites, and they've been there for years.
Hey, we're entertaining Dean Hollard.
Really?
I think so.
Oh, okay, Dean. Why are you LMFAO?
I think maybe the spelling lesson, the pronunciation guide.
Nuclear.
Hey, nuclear. I always get conscious and, like self-conscious and, oh, well, shit. Now I can't even remember the word.
I always get apples and oranges mixed up.
What's the word I always mix up with conscious? I mean, you
conscience.
Maybe mix it.
Conscience.
Thank you.
Conscience and conscious.
Conscience and conscious mixed up all the time.
Yeah, that's a conscience choice.
And Constance, your former girlfriend from 30 years ago.
Oh, yikes. No, let her go. Mass Truman Show theory. There we go. Oh, my gosh. I have discovered AI is fun to utilize as a tool to help me study the physics and the mathematics and all those formulas and what they're trying to mean and put together. That's the fun idea of AI. But maybe these grays are AI. Maybe that's why
we're AI. I actually don't think my intelligence is real. I think it's artificial.
Well, I'm sure mine is, yeah. I've been AI from day one, so it's all good. That's I've been trying to get the real thing my whole life, and I can't
fake it till you make it.
Okay.
Fake it. Jules, bear my testimony until I have it. Yes.
Jules is asking about Eric von Daniken's Chariot of the Gods books.
Yeah, I'm not.
It was fun when I was a kid to go to the theater and see that movie.
Yeah, well, it was a fun movie.
Well, there's some truth in there, but it's questionable how he put it all together.
Well, I mean, it's like Zechariah Sitchin and all of this stuff, Velikovsky. But you know what? Ingo Swann said in his interview with Bob Smith, I did a video on this just yesterday. I didn't say this part, but in that interview, I've got the link on my YouTube video on Ingo Swann. Ingo himself said, yeah, I've got all of Velikovsky's books and I've read them all. It's kind of nice to see he's now being justified, that he's being shown to have had it right. And I'm going, whoa, wait. Velikovsky got it right. Are you kidding? Ingo Swann?
Yeah, right.
Wow, that's a kind of a heart jumper for me. I don't
My
know.
dad introduced me to Velikovsky, and we read that together. And I thought, if this guy's right, that's a whole nother view. That
I always get Velikovsky and Bellicose mixed up.
Do you do that self-consciously?
I do it constantly.
Oh, hey, Johnny
Well-
Consciousness says he joined the live late. Who are you other three dudes? This is Gene Judson. Gene, go back to the, yeah, there he is. Johnny Conscious. Thanks, Johnny, for asking. These are my dear and good friend, Gene Judson down below me, Tim Rathbone over to that side, and my other good friend, Randy C. Watts down there. Boy, this camera work is great. So we're all just kind of good friends. We've studied Mormonism together. We've all been Mormon. We like all kinds of weird subjects.
From being
UFOs,
Mormon.
today's topic. In Mormonism, you get plenty of weird subjects. Although now we're discovering Joseph Smith got it right with Men on the Moon, and it makes you kind of slow down. But yeah, we're just having a great chat on UFOs, and
And we're
we have figured out
simulcasting.
all of the questions. You need to go back and watch it from the start. We have answered all questions at UFO.
yeah,
Yeah, and we're all pretty damn cool.
We are? Oh, we are.
we are.
Yeah.
Are we?
We're all pretty damn cool. Yeah.
At least in the
We'd
winter.
like to have a barbecue together someday.
I don't know. It's going to be 103 here today. So,
Ooh, too warm, too warm. I'm going to be in the high 80s.
oh, I wish we were in the high 80s.
So we're simulcasting, and I'm going to put up our channel, our other channel. If you're on Backyard Professor channel, you can come to Latter Daily Digest and check out our stuff. If you're on Latter Daily Digest, you can check out Backyard Professor stuff.
That's the stuff. Yep.
We're simulcasting because the rising tide lifts all ships, and maybe the rising tide lifts all spaceships too.
There we go.
Right on. Right on.
Oh, Sherry
that was-
Barney, you're too kind.
Profound.
Yeah, this is just a topic that do aliens play chess? MA asks. Yes, they do. I got checkmated several years ago, and I quit playing chess because of it. No, I'm just
They play 3-dimensional chess, or is it 5-dimensional
he
chess?
beat me in one move, and I just still don't get it.
Really?
Yeah, the alien. He blew my mind.
Wow.
That's what laser guns can do.
Have you ever seen a one move checkmate, Tim?
No.
Neither have I. That's what blew me away when the alien did that to me. I
I
said,
don't know how you could do that.
I
I
mean,
could see in.
not only is there technology beyond us, so is there chess prowess.
Oh, wow. Okay. One move.
And somebody donated $10 to Backyard Professor earlier.
Thank
Me?
you.
That was you, wasn't it? I thought that
Who?
was you. Checks in the mail. Oh, thank you, Miss Woozy. Yeah. We have a lot of fun. I mean, yeah, we like to take the topic serious, and Tim has so much knowledge in his head, as does these other two yokels.
I don't know anything.
I love to learn from these guys. So every now and then they nicely invite me onto their show, and I really appreciate it. So it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. We would be considered, I mean, I'm not speaking for you other three, but liberal Mormons, if we were still Mormon, maybe. Would that
Yes.
Very nuanced.
I hate labels, but you know, we're not the he said it.
Well, I've always been a liberal Mormon, so
Yeah.
that's me.
Yeah.
I've always been a skeptical Mormon.
There you go.
And-
That's good too.
And yeah, until the last 5 years, then I'm a absolutely no effing way Mormon.
Yeah, the church has gone on strange roads this last couple of decades, hasn't it?
I was telling people you could be in two camps. You could be in the camp where ignorance is bliss, or you can be knowledge is power. Ignorance is bliss are TBMs. Knowledge or power is power are XMOs.
That's interesting.
Right.
I've never heard
Right.
that put that way before. I like it. Yeah.
Well, and if you watched last night's Mormonism live, we're talking about the ultimate weapon against ex-Mormons is the truth, but not the way that this guy thinks it is, who RFM was talking about. So,
You mean
gotta go back.
Mormonism after dark?
Yeah,
You meant
yeah,
Mormonism After Dark. Yeah, they go
after dark.
right. Yeah.
Yeah,
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 they have a lot of fun.
yeah.
Well, all right then. What else do you want to talk about?
That's right. No matter what, we're having fun. Whatever we're talking about.
Absolutely.
Always have fun. You always gotta have fun.
Life is too
Good.
short not to.
That's
That's
right.
what friends like you guys so great.
And you too, Gary. Yeah, you too.
We are
We're
We
a
are-
riot.
the Four Musketeers.
That's right.
Musketeers. Yep. We are the quadruple musketeers. We go hip, 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 hooray.
Right?
Hip, hip, hooray.
Right on. Right on.
What is hip? Dun, dun, dun. So
So
anyway, thanks everybody for watching. If there's, we can end this because it's lunchtime for some of us. Although Backyard Professor had a banana just before the show, so he doesn't need anything for
Uh-oh, my
a couple
secret's
days now.
out. My secret's out.
And so, tell us about the secret about bananas again.
Yeah, the bananas they've discovered, I say they've discovered, I've discovered through studying it, that it actually softens your arteries over time. You should eat a banana a day because it prevents hardening of the arteries. And when you start getting to be our ages, that becomes a serious concern.
very important.
Bananas, yeah, true. Just one a day, just one. And I mean, they're sweet, they're good. But yeah,
We've been working on the lardening of our arteries, and now we can work on the softening of our arteries.
Yeah, don't monkey around. Eat those bananas.
That's right. Every day, like I do, and Carrie now is doing.
Yep.
Yeah, so we should do this again, maybe every month or so. We could
That
just
would be
hop
a
on
I
a
would love
lazy Saturday afternoon.
I'm not worthy, but I would love it.
Are you going to Sunstone this year?
Oh, when is it?
It starts July 31st.
Are you serious? Really? Oh, I'd love to.
July 31st.
I'm not going to get to the whole thing. Darn it.
July 31st is the free event, and they always invite a non-Mormon. It has to be a non-Mormon for the opening. They call it either plenary or lecture or whatever. And I can't remember who it's. Oh, it's John G. Turner.
John Turner.
The Rise and Fall of an American Prophet or whatever, Joseph Smith.
Joseph Smith.
I want John DeLynne's biography to be called The Rise and Fall of the Mormon Empire.
There you go. I will probably make it on the Saturday part. What day is the 31st?
Thursday.
Thursday.
Friday, Saturday. So I'll make it. I'll make it on the Saturday if you can, and I'll have lunch with you again.
Okay. With all the other famous people.
Yeah, Saturday, everybody's gone by then. That's the downside of not getting there on Saturday.
Yeah, all the cool people that don't have to see all the lectures and all the interesting things. They're like, oh, yeah, we're going away for lunch and stuff.
And if somebody will pay my way, I will go. But I'm too poor to go.
That's right.
Well,
we'll have to do
let me see if I
can fundraiser show for Tim.
Yeah.
Do you fly or do you need to be driven?
Yeah, either way, doesn't matter.
Okay.
It's
Doesn't matter.
I'll see if I can drum some money up for you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I don't
Right
mind.
then.
I wouldn't mind driving.
I'm trying to finish up posting all these last little comments.
Okay.
People can
Carrie,
go too fast. You can always go back and then freeze the frame.
We really appreciate you coming on, Carrie.
Yeah, thank you, Carrie, for coming on.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you. Yeah, let's do this about once a month. I like that idea.
All right.
Imparting your wisdom.
Hey, do you want to pre-select a topic for next month? What do you want to talk about next? That way the audience can get excited.
Maybe we can have a crowdsourcing right now. The audience can make suggestions for the topic.
Great idea.
Yeah.
What do you guys want us to
I
talk
think
do you
we
wanna
should
hear,
do a
audience?
lecture on the Etruscans. We should learn all about the Etruscans that we possibly can.
You know, I'd love to make it a call-in show where people can call and talk about
Yeah,
what they've seen, what their experiences
Yeah,
have
that
been.
would be fun. Can
that
you
would be
do that,
fun.
Gene? Can you make it a call-in show?
You can put the
Uh,
Yeah, but
streamer.
the problem with that is you have to control that because people will get going on and on and on, and they will not stop. And it's rude to hang up on them, but yeah.
And they'll come on and they want to talk about Jesus or
Oh,
some
hey,
other
Dean
religion
Collins
saves
said
them.
remote viewing. Remote viewing might be a great topic, especially with
We
Tim.
could do that.
Let's
Yeah.
do that. Let's talk about remote viewing. I love it. Yes, I
Talk-
vote.
And what we'll do
all
is,
who are in favor signify by.
and here's what's going to happen.
All those opposed?
We're going to talk about remote viewing, but we're not going to show it on YouTube. Everybody has to channel
To remote view it.
into our minds. You have to
I'm in
remote view the
trouble.
show.
I don't even know how
Yeah.
to view.
But maybe that's a bad idea. I don't know. I
guess
was
I
just
won't
throwing it
show
out
up.
there.
Oh, and Tim, blessed be the fruit.
Yes.
May the
And
Lord
we'll look,
open.
we'll look back at the other suggestions because there's more than 2 months in the year, as far as
That's
I can
true.
tell.
And
That's
JD
right.
from Philly, yes, I will be doing a deeper dive on Ingo Swan. I promise. That is in the works, just so you know.
And what is this? Does this have something to do with dandruff?
Psionics. No. That's a very Sherry's got a great topic there. Psionics is what Jake Barber claims he brings the UFOs in with.
What am I thinking of?
Psychotics.
Psychiatrist?
Psychiatrists or whatever. But it's all related because it's psycho. It comes from-
Psoriasis?
Yeah, psoriasis.
The heartbreak of psoriasis.
The heartbreak of psoriasis. Oh my.
Now
All
we're
right,
going back.
here.
Okay,
Hello,
everybody
hello,
go
people.
eat a
We gotta
banana
See y'all
and
later.
Eat a banana a
soften
day.
your arteries, and we'll see you next month.
Yep.
Maybe we can do the second Saturday of every month.
Oh, that might be a good idea. All
That
right.
would be a good idea.
And
Every month has 2 Saturdays at least.
There you go.
We can do one on dandruff.
Cosmic dandruff.
Party's,
Oh, personal.
party's getting rough
And
now.
deodorant. We can do that. And
Right
two.
on.
All right. Very good.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right.
Thanks, everybody, for
Bye-bye.
listening.
Yep.
We'll
Thank you.
catch you in 1 month.
Love you, mean it.
1 month.